Welcome back to Shark Talk, episode 10. Today, we're joined by one of the most versatile and productive players in all of summer baseball. Gio Colasante joins us. Gio, thanks so much for coming on.
Of course, man. Good to be here.
Gio's been a standout for the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. He played for the Sharks 2 years ago. He returns in 2025, making an impact at the plate, in the field, and on the mound. A rising senior at Harvard, Gio earned first-team All-Ivy honors this past spring as both a two-way player and a first baseman. One of the few guys in the country who can change the game in every phase. He was also named the John Olren Two-Way Player of the Year watch list and finished top 5 in the Ivy League in homers, slugging, and total bases. I'm not trying to let this go on too long, but there's a lot of accomplishments to get through. Behind all the accolades, though, is a guy that just loves to compete. From a strong high school career in New York to overcoming injury and now anchoring a summer squad on the Vineyard, Gio's journey is one of steady growth and sharp focus. We talk routine, mentality, and what it takes to thrive as a true two-way threat. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start, as I always do, right here on the island of Martha's Vineyard. So you're no stranger to the island. You played here 2 years ago, but how's the island been treating you this summer?
The island's been great. First, I love that intro, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Tooting the horn. But, yeah, the Vineyard's great. I mean, it's just a great place to be. I think there's a lot of great people here, which makes any experience better. But it's just fun having the kind of – you start the summer here, and it's a little quieter. And as the summer goes on, more and more people come, and it turns into more of a vacation spot.
Absolutely.
But it's nice to kind of have those days where you wake up and it's – I don't know, you can kind of chill out a little bit.
You're in one of the best vacation spots in America.
Yeah, it's not too hot, you know. Honestly, everything's great. I love to go to Waterside, though. That's my spot.
Oh, my God. The best sandwiches on the island, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, so what have you enjoyed the most if you had to pick one off the field on the summer, just enjoying the island?
A couple times I've driven out to Aquina. Kind of nice to get away from, like, the hustle bustle, especially now. Being a couple of minutes out of Edgartown, it takes, like, 15 minutes to get to the pharmacy, and it's like a two-mile drive or something like that. So I like to go out there sometimes, clear the head. Actually went out earlier today with Muscolo. We rented some jet skis and got in the harbor a little bit. It's really fun. But no, it's a good place. I mean, obviously you get your work in and stuff, but it's nice to have other things around to kind of keep things chill.
Absolutely, and it's a great answer, too, because a lot of guys don't really have the knowledge of the island to really go up island. Yeah. Obviously, it's a much more quiet, scenic scene, but it's probably one of the best spots on the place. All right, let's get into your athletic journey. So obviously very well decorated as the intro kind of outlined, but you played basketball as well in high school.
I did.
When did your love for baseball start, and when did it separate itself from basketball?
I mean, growing up, I started playing baseball when I was 5, so it was something I did for a really long time. I swam a little bit when I was younger.
Okay.
Not competitively, but like it was an activity to do. And then when I was in I think 5th grade or something, I got really, really into basketball for a few years, and I was the biggest Kevin Durant fan in the world.
No way.
Yeah, I was a huge Thunder guy.
Still are?
No, not anymore, dude. When Katie went to the Warriors, it ruined my little kid heart.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I kind of fell out of love for basketball. But I played AAU, and was really, really into that. I played at Rucker Park in New York, if you've heard of it.
No way.
Yeah. But yeah, I played in 8th grade. I went to my high school Poly Prep in the city, in Brooklyn actually, which was like a really, really great place for me, a really great baseball program, and I think it did a lot for me in terms of like setting my sights for college baseball and just being around a lot of high-level athletes as a younger guy.
Yeah.
But I played JV there in 8th grade, and then I played varsity my freshman year, and didn't play that much on the varsity squad. But I was a capable basketball player, and I ended up growing a little bit after I stopped playing. But slowly, I think one part of it was being in that program and being around a lot of the year before I came in, we had a pitcher that went to LSU. We had an outfielder that went to Vanderbilt that he ended up transferring out, but it was a ton of really high-level guys, 2 Patriot League guys on the team, and just everyone's working really hard. And the fall and winter are instead of a lot of guys playing other sports, it was we're doing baseball workouts and we're going to do all this stuff to be really competitive in the spring and to really make baseball careers out of this.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a good school academically as well, but that whole team and that whole atmosphere really kind of trained me to think a certain way and carry myself in a way that was going to lead to a chance to succeed on the baseball field and on like outside of it too. But yeah, that foundation of hard work was really cool from a young age.
Absolutely, and we just had Chase Kick on. He was talking about the exact same situation. He comes into his high school career, and he has a lot of talented guys that not only are doing it on the field, but they're really showing him the blueprint off the field.
Yep,
and so,
totally.
like, just kind of speak to, like, how important that is to learn that at a young age and have strong mentors that value the importance of hard work.
Yeah. I think to answer that, I'll start with, like, my dad. I remember, and neither of my parents played any sports competitively. My dad would play, like, stickball and stuff with his friends growing up. My mom grew up out of the States as well. She's from Ghana originally, but she grew up in Holland.
Okay.
Just outside Amsterdam. But I remember I'm at the field with my dad, and I'm probably like 10 years old or something, and we're just going, like, at that point, it's literally just fun.
Yeah.
And there was this high school field that we would go to, and they had cages there. And we had this little trolley, I remember, like a little cart that we, like, push the balls in my bag and stuff. And we're leaving the field. It's like 100 degrees out. The turf is super hot. And he's like, if you really if you really want to be good at anything, like, this is the stuff you have to enjoy. Like, everyone has fun when they're doing well. You have a 3-for-4 game and you hit 2 doubles. Like, everyone can have fun when they're doing well. But if you can find the joy in the practice and just, like, the stuff that people don't really recognize or see, like, that's how you get success. So him growing up, and then, like I said, the atmosphere I got put in high school, but all throughout the journey, there are different stops and, like, different people that help out, and there's so many people that I could say were mentors and people that helped guide me along the way. But that's one, like, little anecdote, I guess, from my dad that we kind of talk about every now and then. But yeah, that's a lot that goes into any life, and I'm sure, like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've been around a ton of people that do great stuff. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't just translate to sports. I mean,
No,
baseball,
it's
just
life.
sports.
It's life.
Loving the process. I mean, if you can love the hard work, the stuff that doesn't put you in the spotlight, that's really what makes it special. Yeah. So obviously, you come into a really prestigious program. You are surrounded by talent, surrounded by hardworking guys. But when did you kind of take that into your own accord and really develop that, and then, as a result, start to thrive in your high school career?
I'd say, like, well, I feel like a lot of guys in here are going to talk about COVID, just because that was probably, like, for me, it started the, like, winter of my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And we didn't end up playing a full year that year. And my junior year was, like, a weird season. But I think during that time, naturally, I kind of began to mature more physically. I had hit a little bit of a growth spurt. I was probably, like, 5'10" my freshman year. I was, like, a good baseball player, but was still, like, growing into my body. And obviously everyone makes big strides in those, like, the 14 to 17 ages. But I think during COVID, I really made a bunch of big steps. I really doubled down in the weight room and with training and stuff. I built a batting cage with my dad and my brother in our backyard, and just locked in and was pretty focused, and not in, like, a I don't know, a lot of people talk about, like, huge goals and stuff like that, and obviously I was driven to accomplish things. I wanted to, like, commit to a Division I school was a big goal, and I wanted to do those things, but like I said before, like, just being in love with the process of the day-to-day, and, like, just got out there a lot and took a lot of swings and a lot of ground balls, and at that point was, like, sending videos to schools because no one was playing any games and stuff. But I think that, like, 18-month stretch was really big, and I came out of COVID, like, a completely different player. So I think that time, and I'm imagining it would have been a lot of the same if COVID didn't happen, but in that time you're, like, isolated and stuff. Like, kind of my little brother and I and some of my teammates really, like, got down to work and focused, and
Yeah, absolutely, and it's so important of how you respond to adversity. Obviously, we're going to talk about some of the personal injuries, but I mean, the entire world shut down, and me personally, I stayed inside the house, didn't do too much. I lived in the city.
That was a lot of Fortnite.
So, too much Fortnite, especially on Zoom class. But sorry, Miss Balin, Miss Spanish shout out to my high school. Whatever. All right, we're getting off topic. Anyways, so you come out. That's your so sophomore year is really when, because it happened right around when baseball season started, and then the following year is impacted as well. Take me through your senior year and finding Harvard, and just finishing up your high school.
Yeah, well, first off, Harvard was like the first college camp I went to.
Okay.
And it was literally, I think, like 10 days before like the official lockdown happened. So I got lucky to like get into the facilities there, meet the coaches, like do all the camp stuff, and I ended up getting an offer from them like pretty shortly after that.
Okay.
And I didn't commit until my junior summer, just because of like all the uncertainty with COVID and a lot of moving pieces and stuff. But I really, really felt like a genuine connection with the coaching staff there. Yeah. And it's obviously an opportunity that's like pretty tough to pass up.
Right.
But my senior year, after COVID hit, I had a pretty solid year at school my junior season, and then I had a big summer my junior summer. I got invited to like some cool events. I went to East Coast Pro. I was at like the PG National Showcase, and I started to get some buzz. And I remember after that summer, I was ranked like I was anywhere from like in the middle, like first day rounds in the draft. Like it was a huge summer.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I had a interesting senior year. Right before the season started, I had myocarditis, which eventually they said was probably from the booster, which I had to get for school. But one night I'm eating dinner with my dad, my brother, my mom was out, like away for work or something. Yep. But like I started feeling some chest pain. Ended up going to the hospital. I was in the ICU for a week, like a few weeks before my senior season started. And I had to like fight with the doctor to clear me to play, because we have like a Florida trip every season. Yeah. Right in the beginning of the year. So I had to get cleared. I had to wear this Holter monitor in school for a day.
Lord, all because of a COVID booster shot?
Yeah. But so we go on that trip. Long story short, I ended up having some arm problems again. That ended up being the olecranon stress fracture I told you about. But I like through then had to shut down, and was like slowly trying to build back up through the year. Yeah. But I DH'd for the whole season. I had a good year overall, but never got to pitch. Played short for like a couple games just because I like really wanted to and just wanted to find a way to get on the field. Right. But it was a great season, and we ended up winning the state championship that year and everything. But like that hiccup in the beginning of the season was super annoying, and something that, like we talked about, the adversity piece to fight through.
And especially, I mean, it comes right after you're at your peak, right? It's that junior summer where your senior name,
to the Super 60.
Yeah, your senior name
and
go drafts, and then it's immediately you get kind of brought back down to earth in a sense.
Yeah, totally.
So what did that kind of teach you? Like you're young at that moment, right? You're vulnerable. It's your first time really. I can't really speak. I don't know you too well, but it's your first time really experiencing that type of adversity after reaching that type of peak. So how do you respond to that moment?
I don't know. You just keep going. Yeah. Obviously, it sucks in the moment, but I don't think I was ever thinking like, I don't know. With life, I think there's always like those peaks and valleys, and like you can't ever expect things to be linear and always progressing and always seeing a lot of success. Yeah. I think that's like you can strive for that and do everything you can to make things happen, but obviously there's a ton of stuff that's out of your control.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, you just got to keep going. Our head coach at school always says like just got to keep moving forward, and it's kind of cliche and guys joke around about it, but like what else is there to do, you know? Yeah. I mean it's hard to remember exactly how I felt in the moment. I'm sure it was definitely tough to go through it, but I mean, you just keep playing. And I think the drive to like get back on the field and to like be with all my teammates and my boys for my like last season in high school, especially after seeing all the classes of seniors before us, like just want to get back on the field and keep going. So that's what I was going to do, you know.
Absolutely, and it ended up decent. I mean, winning the state championship your senior year, it's how every high school player wants to go out. Yeah. Talk to me about the transition to Harvard and just how that was your first year.
It was a little bit of an adjustment for sure. I had that surgery was in like the end of June. So I didn't play in the fall at all my freshman year. I'd like be able to take ground balls and stuff, but obviously going in as a two-way, you want to be able to kind of show what you can do in the fall, and I wasn't really able to do that. Again, though, like just got to keep going. Fought through the rehab, I thought I did a really good job handling that. I was really diligent and focused with the routines, and I had to go in early to see the trainer or stay after practice and stuff because I wanted to be with the team and around the coaches and show that I'm like really bought into this. But yeah, I mean, it was our fall season goes to like Halloween roughly, and then you go home for Thanksgiving, and then you have 2 weeks of school, which is mostly like finals and stuff like that. And then winter break is a month long. So in that month, it was like really go time, and I was pretty much cleared. And so I took that month and like really said like I'm gonna fight for a spot on the team. Like I want to play. I like coming off of like where we're just talking about like you're ranked highly and stuff. Like you want to be on the field your freshman year.
Yeah.
So the first few weekends of the year, I was like coming off the bench. Like I'd get a pinch hit at bat at the end of the game, or I'd DH a game or something. And I wasn't really playing all that much. And then we had a senior get like sick after our first weekend in conference, and I started. I think it was against Princeton at home, maybe Cornell. Started a game at short then, and then I basically played every game at short for the rest of the season. I think I might have started a game, like a midweek game at third or something, and picked up a couple hits, but like found my way onto the field and didn't leave for the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was really cool, especially that season because of COVID. We had basically 2 classes of seniors because the Ivy League canceled 2 seasons due to COVID, and most other conferences only had 1. But it was a really, really cool group, and we had a bunch of older guys that really took the younger dudes under their wings. And there are a few guys on that team that I still like stay in touch with, even though they're 5 years older. But it was a really cool year and a really cool like experience, and I absolutely love my time at Harvard. My younger brother's going to be there next fall as a freshman baseball player, so I'm excited for that.
No way.
And
so you guys are going to be in the same program?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be really exciting. So
Sure.
Obviously you've dealt with a lot of adversity at that point, more than most college freshmen have really ever done, and then another blow to you. You missed your sophomore year with an injury. Did you get like any fatigue from just being like, how am I? I mean, it's injury after injury. It sounds like I'm harping on them, but I mean,
no.
It takes a certain level of mental toughness and diligence, as you said, to battle through that time and time again. How did you find the strength to do that?
I mean, it's a lot of people around me supporting me, which is good. But yeah, we were talking about this before, but I started throwing bullpens here my freshman summer in like August or something, and kind of slowly built up because I didn't have that time before the season started, and was looking to be a 2A again on the mound my sophomore year. And I came out threw my first live like an inning at school in the fall, went really well. Next week I threw 2 innings, went really well. And then my third outing I came out and like fell okay. And then like the second batter I threw to ended up blowing out my UCL. So I mean, really it's just like, I don't know. I think those moments are really, really good if you let them be good. Obviously it's a lot to take, but it gives you a lot of perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that season being on the sideline and like I would do like our charting in the dugout a lot just because it kept me in the game and stuff.
Right.
But the big positive, obviously, like having fought through something, I think it makes it easier to get through other stuff.
Right.
Whether that's on the field or not. But I think that year off the field and that year away from playing like really, really helped me find my love for the game again. And like you can go through. I don't know, you can start to take it for granted. Like you play at school, a lot of teams play 50, 60 games a year. We play like 40-something, but either way, it's a long season, and you go to practice every day, and sometimes it gets monotonous, and like, I don't know, you get kind of caught in the just loop of
the
playing.
routine,
but it's
the repetition.
Yeah, but it's really a privilege to be on the field, and like, I remember my first practice in the fall, I was like a 5-year-old again. Like I was so excited
Felt like the World
to be on
Series.
the field. But yeah, like, that time away, I think really like rekindled that like fire I have, and you know it makes you really want to be on the field and like have fun with it. It is a game, and like it's serious, and there are goals, and like you have to perform to to keep going and stuff. But like it's a privilege to play.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a really positive thing that I was able to take away from the injury.
Yeah, and it's like that's a very valuable perspective that you can really only get by being forced to just watch your boys, your teammates compete right in front of you, in front of your very eyes. I want to take a slight break from your journey. We're almost caught up, but one thing I've noticed about you as a player that kind of separates is it's almost a short-term memory loss. Just your perspective on the field is unlike any I've really seen. It's very calm, cool, collected. I've brought up a lot of your bad moments already. I'm sorry to bring up some more. We played a doubleheader earlier this year. You were at shortstop for the first 6 innings. You moved to first because of a substitution.
Yeah.
You try to turn the game-ending double play, sail the throw a couple feet. 2 minutes after that, I go down to the field. I'm getting the lineup, and you're completely unbothered. And then even again, just last night, you get rang up on your first at-bat in our second game on a pitch that was, I see the track, man, it was 2 balls outside. And you didn't even bat an eye, right? You just walk back to the dugout, calm, cool, collected. Is that about controlling what you can control, or is that just the perspective or you as a person?
I mean, I think it's a combination of the three, but I don't know. There's nothing to do about those things after they happen. Like as much as I'd want to a lot of times, like it'd be nice to turn around to the umpire and tell him what I think about it. And sometimes I do, but like it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
And that play, like, yeah, I was at short all game. I moved to first, and I wanted to end it with that throw, but it didn't happen. You know, like, I mean, those are the things you work for to be able to do every time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, you just gotta roll with it. Just gotta keep going.
Absolutely. So after you missed your sophomore year, obviously you said you got back to fall, and it seems like it's almost like it's your first time playing baseball all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You go on to have an incredible year. I mean, obviously, I already mentioned the accolades. You're probably one of the best players in the Ivy League. I guess my question is, how much did that time away the perspective? Obviously, you talked about it rekindling your fire, but just did it bring a different level of appreciation that allowed you to stay more present your junior year?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I think my freshman year, I was really, like, wrapped up in results and like fighting for like trying to will everything to happen on the field. And I think you can will everything to happen off the field when you're training and in the fall and winter when you're getting ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the spring you have to like do what's going to make you the most successful. And obviously you have those goals in the back of your mind. And I remember my freshman year, I looked through our like Harvard record books and I was like, oh, I want to do this and this in my career. Like, I want to do this as a freshman. Like, what have other guys done?
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's good, and it's good to be driven by certain things, but you can't let those things consume you.
Yeah.
I think one thing that was really positive for me this year was I went and started working with these guys at 108 Performance in Tennessee.
Okay.
And I got down there for the first time in August and worked through like my swing stuff and refining my mechanics on the mound. And a lot of this stuff they taught me has led me to a lot of success. It's made me more confident in what I can do. And I mean, this season, going into the year, in the back of my head, I was like, I'm gonna hit 500. Like that's how good I felt after work with those guys. I had a really good fall. And I played first base for the first time this year, which was something to work through. But it was a really good season. And we actually finished up pretty good. We wanted to make it to a regional. We didn't get past Columbia, but a lot of perspective, I'd say, was, and also like I'm much more mature than I was my freshman year.
Yeah.
You know, that year away from the game was a year I still like lived and, you know, did a bunch of stuff and actually worked last summer back home. But yeah.
What were you doing last summer? Quick zag.
I worked in this like family office VC kind of firm.
Okay.
And I worked on a couple of cool projects. One of them was like baseball related. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so I want to talk about your work ethic real quick. Obviously, takes a certain level of drive, takes a certain level of discipline to maintain high-level play on the field while maintaining the academics in the Ivy League. And that's something that doesn't really seem like it's that new to you. You've obviously matured a lot, but just kind of where does that work ethic, that drive derive from?
I think my parents, I have to thank them for a lot. Yeah. I think they did a pretty good job raising me. But I feel like like you said, I actually have been doing that for a long time. I remember when I was in middle school, I would go to this like basketball training thing out in Long Island. And growing up in the city, I grew up in Queens mainly, but there would always be a ton of traffic. And my dad would pick me up from school and we'd drive, and it would take 2 hours to get out there because we're in standstill traffic. And I'd be there for 3 hours, and then I'd come back home, and I'd have to do my homework in the car because we'd get back at 11 or something, and I have to go to bed. So, I mean, I guess doing that at a young age, I was like conditioned to like just get things done when I had to.
Exactly.
And it's kind of the same thing now. I mean, you got to manage a schedule and obviously have a life. But yeah, you just gotta get it done.
Yeah, no, take me through that. So obviously, from Queens, that's not the most typical, obviously, spot to be from. I talked with AJ Pino. He's from Manhattan.
Yep.
Not crazy familiar with New York, but I lived in Center City, Philadelphia for about 8-9 years, and it taught me the exact same thing, right? There's a certain level of independency. There's a certain level of work ethic that you just have to kind of grow into.
Yep.
Is there anything else that your hometown, where you grew up, really contributed to your success or who you are as a person now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like to round out the New York City point.
Yeah.
I was born in Manhattan, and I lived there when I was like younger.
Okay.
We lived in Brooklyn for a little bit. My parents used to work in the city.
Gotcha.
And my dad grew up in Queens. We grew up in the same like area.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then we moved out to Staten Island a few years ago.
Okay.
To be closer
You've
to
been
high
all
school.
over.
Yeah, I've been
4 to 5.
I've been all over. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to think that being from New York City made me like a little bit more get up and go and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's the case. I think, like I said, a lot of it's just my parents like being on top of me a little bit, I guess, when I was younger, but really just showing me how to like just, I don't know, get shit done. I guess.
Absolutely. All right, so I want to talk about this summer. You played with the Sharks 2 years ago. What was that first experience like, super quickly?
I'd say, well, that first summer was a little different. I was here the whole time. Like, I got here a few days before the season started and was here to the end of the year. That summer, I think, like, in season at school, it's hard to, like, do a lot of, obviously, you get a lot of experience, and you're playing a ton of games in college for the first time. But I feel like I did a lot of learning over the summer, and maybe maturing is a word, but it was really cool to be around a lot of other guys from different schools and see how they operated and did things.
Yeah.
And get out of like the bubble of what I knew at school.
Right.
There were also a lot of guys who were just coming off of their freshman season like I was. And so I think us being around each other was really good for all of us. Like Mikey Ebner was a USC righty who was on that team. Carson Sabathia.
Yep.
Like Jaden Hilton. There were a bunch of guys that like we got really close, and us being around each other and working out together, and like I don't know, just being at the field every day. Nolan Araki's one of my homies from he's from Long Island, but I knew him coming in. But like Nolan and I would grind like every day. We'd go take ground balls and stuff. But being around those guys and just like I guess like being like-minded young like college guys together, and all of us like working towards a goal was really
Chasing
cool.
the same dream.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that summer again was like a big step for me, and I wasn't like the happiest with how I played and stuff, but like overall the experience was great, and obviously being on the Vineyard was great. But yeah, it was a little different than this time around. I feel like I don't feel like an older guy, but I don't know. It's a little different. Like I've been around. I'm kind of more settled and stuff like that.
I mean, it's definitely a different perspective. You were you're coming off your freshman year the first time, and now you're upperclassman.
Yep.
A returner for the squad. Just kind of what has that taught you? How has that made this summer different?
Yeah, just like a lot more settled. I know like where my spots are. I know where I'm getting my coffee in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
I know where stuff's at the field. Like we have a locker room now, which is different. We used to just lug our stuff out of the dugout to the car after the game. But yeah, I just feel, I don't know, it's just more comfortable. You've been around and you know, like obviously I know Russ and Danielle. So yeah, I think everything's just a little bit like slowed down.
Absolutely. And what really drove you to come back to the Sharks? I mean, it's definitely a unique situation. I'm sure coming off of that very impressive junior year at Harvard, you could have probably gone to the Cape had you wanted to, but you come back to the island and you're thriving this summer. Why?
Yeah, it was a place where I could two-way.
Yeah.
which is a big thing for me. I wanted to get some innings in and be able to play the field. I've been around Russ, and I knew he'd take care of me. And yeah, who's going to say no to the vineyard?
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the two-way piece. So obviously, starting to become more popular within the game of baseball, thanks to Shohei Ohtani a little bit. But I mean, coming in your high school career, like it's not really common at all, nor really easy to pursue that. So just kind of what has that journey been like being a two-way player since your high school career and managing that throughout?
Yeah, it's tough. This was really the first year at school where I was like actually a two-way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like I have a lot of people pulling me in different directions.
Yeah.
It's always been like, and maybe like it's naive for me to think this way, but like I was recruited into college as a two-way, and I know in my heart I can get it done. So I love doing both, so I want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a time when like I might have to choose, or it might get chosen for me.
Right.
And I think going into this year, I've got to do some thinking after this summer's done, obviously, about like if I want to focus on one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot to manage, and like in the season this year, I think I did a really good job of like knowing when like I needed to go and practice and when I should like back off a little bit, especially coming off the injury. Like you're a little bit more cognizant of how much you're throwing and how intense your throwing is. But yeah, it's like a little bit of a juggling act, and knowing what you have to do to like be in a good spot without overdoing it, because you got to find that kind of perfect balance. But yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Absolutely. Has it helped you at all? Sorry to cut you off, but has it helped you all as a hitter, like being in that pitcher's mindset? Because, I mean, so much of this game is mental, right? You can have all the physical tools. Mental. I mean, you're smooth fielder, shortstop. You can hit the ball. You can sit 90 on the bump, but you have to have a strong mental game. What has being a two-way player, how has that helped you progress in your improvement in your growth?
I think, like, as I've gotten older, like, I still haven't had a ton of at-bats in college and stuff like that, but you can lean into the compete and, like, focus aspect of things more than you think. I think as a baseball player from the Northeast, it's like you're in the weight room for, I don't know, after the fall's over, like, it's cold as hell outside, you're not playing, you're not on the field, so, like, it's always like you got to grind, like, you got to get strong in the weight room, you got to run, and, like, I feel like it's a little bit like you have to be a little scrappier, it feels like, and then you get on the field and it's like swing hard, like you're only playing in the summer, like things like that, and you're going like all out every time you're on the field. And obviously I'm still playing with a ton of effort, but like if you're two-waying, like at school I would play a doubleheader at first base on Saturday and be gassed and burn like I wear a whoop when I play. I'll burn like 4,000 to 5,000 calories in a doubleheader, and then I'll wake up in the morning the next day and I'm starting. So it's like you're not like I'm not at 100%, but I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna compete, and like you let your preparation take over and you dial in, and like you know what you have to get out of yourself, and you know what you have to do to get guys out and to get on base and stuff like that. But you lean into the experience and like the focus aspect of it. And that I think carries you a long way.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's the area that a lot of guys try to grow into this summer, right? You're playing 44 games in 2 months. You got to stay ready, but when you're doing both, when you're pitching and hitting, it takes a certain level of focus. So just kind of speak on like how important you've come to realize the preparation and the focus is off the field.
It's everything. Because that's, I think like you said, it's mental, and I think a lot of the like foundation of success is like you're confident in what you can do, and you're like convicted in the preparation you put in, and so you can go out there and like kind of let things happen because you don't have to press because you're ready. And it gives me a lot of respect for guys that are in the show and can go out and play 150 games in a year, and they're playing 5 games a week for like all summer, all spring, and then into the fall. So yeah, those guys to do it at that level, you have to have figured that out. But being here after a full season at school kind of gives me a little bit of that perspective. Like that's what those guys are doing.
Exactly.
for a living because they really figured it out. You know.
And it's well said because you come off a long college season. Obviously, it starts in the fall and then you go straight into the summer, and it's even more of a sprint really than it is just. I guess my question is like, what has this taught you about how much you love the grind and your dream of being a big leaguer?
Honestly, I think the best thing is like coming off the Patriot at 3 and not getting the best sleep, and then getting on the field, like whether it's like you're getting in the cage before the game or you're like getting on the field for BP, like you kind of learn a lot about your body and like I don't know. I feel like getting out there and like being tired and whatever and just going and like I feel like I could wake up out of bed and Skip could hit me a fungo and like it'd be fine. I'd field it and throw it to first without warming up, and it's chill.
Yeah, because you're just you're in the swing of things
like
every day.
Your body is like it's ready. You've done it a billion times. Like you can have that confidence in what you've done a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, coming on the field for the first time in the fall, I was like a kid again, and I still feel like that. So I don't know. It's a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's incredible perspective because a lot of guys who go through multiple injuries, it's going to deter their love for the game. It's going to throw them off a little bit. But for you, it's the opposite. Let's focus on summer ball. I mean, I've already talked about it a lot, but what do you think is like the biggest benefit or the biggest helping oh my Lord, I can't speak. It's all right. We're on episode 10. I'm getting there. But what's the biggest positive oh my Lord, the biggest positive factor that's coming from playing a whole season, 44 games in 2 months right after a college season? I mean, you talked about how it helps you stay in the swing of things. It helps you stay prepared. It helps you realize what it's going to take to reach the next level. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I think one thing is like Zook talks about it all the time, Brady.
Yep.
And he loves saying it kind of jokingly, but he's like the guys that make it are the guys that just like stick around.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of that like adversity piece. Like a lot of guys are banged up or tired or whatever it is, and you just like keep going, sticking through it. Yeah. And I think like fighting through those tough days or the days when you're tired are really a positive thing because you just know that you have more in the tank. And getting a ton of reps, getting more at bats, seeing different arms, getting off the bus and going show and go.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday that was ridiculous. We obviously the split venue doubleheader. You're never going to see 2 away games on the same day. We get to Mystic, Connecticut at like 1:15, start playing at 1:30. It's plug and go, and I mean that's something you're not going to see anywhere else, really.
Yeah, no, but that stuff's all really great, and like if you can't do it now, like what makes you think you can do it at another level where guys are better?
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the best things about summer ball for me. Obviously, it's the reps and you're playing more baseball, you're getting more experience. But like, just being around the game is such a great thing.
Absolutely. All right, so I mean that pretty much covers a lot of what I want to talk about. Let's just talk about the Shark Tank really quick. We're on a small island, obviously. It's a summer destination, so you're going to get a big boom of people come this year. But the baseball community is still strong, and we have one of the most ferocious environments in the NECBL. Just what have you enjoyed about playing at the Shark Tank?
I love how the fans get into it.
Yeah,
and it's also it's really cool with the like younger kids hanging around and like. I don't know. It's cool to have like a little kid come up to you and like ask for an autograph.
Well, I can imagine it makes you feel like a big leaguer because obviously we have.
I don't know about that, but it's just it's nice to see that like kids still like baseball.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, there's like 200,000 kids at those games come first pitch. Obviously, they chase after the foul balls, but definitely a special environment to play baseball in. You've had a lot of good moments this summer. A couple dazzling plays in the field. Is there one play on the field that really sticks out for you or is special?
Well, the game we played against Ocean State at home on the 22nd was my younger brother's birthday.
Oh,
and they were in town. Yeah. And like I said, he's going to come to school. But before that, we went out on the Alabama, the Black Dog ship, like sailing a little bit, just like for him. They were around for 3 or 4 days. And I made I made like 2 or 3 really nice plays in that game.
I mean, it's my job. I might as well describe it, right? There's a line drive up the middle. You go Superman on it. And we had ESPN in that game, right? So the cameras are there. We had a perfect shot of that catch. And unfortunately, our director of broadcast flips right from it. But anyways, and then later in that game, there's a flare out to shallow left, and you go chasing down. And I don't know how you came down with it, but that was more dazzling than the first when you laid all the way out. And if I'm not mistaken, you went deep in the first, right? Was that game where you went?
No, it wasn't that game.
Oh, my mistake. Well, you also hit home run last night, but
Yeah, but that game was just cool because it was the first time like since my freshman year that I was playing short. My parents were there to see it. My brother was there too. It was his birthday, like I said.
yeah.
Made a couple nice plays. I had a sack fly in the first of that game, I think.
Okay.
And we ended up winning like 3-1 or something.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a cool night.
What
for
about
sure.
off the field? If you had to pick one moment, I mean, obviously you can say getting off the Patriot at 4:30 a.m.
One moment?
I mean, this is such a unique situation, right?
Yeah, it really is.
You got so many games being played.
I'd say, I hope no one has said this yet, but last week we're coming back from Mystic, I think.
Mhm.
Did someone talk about this yet or no?
I don't believe. Oh yeah, Lucas talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, but anyway, that was a fun trip. But I mean, there's so many great moments.
Right, the Montpelier, Vermont one where you guys get there and it starts raining right at first pitch.
That was crazy.
And obviously you can imagine how mad guys are after traveling 6-7 hours to get there.
Yeah.
And then you finish playing at like 11 or something. You
Yep.
get home at 4:30.
Yeah, I got pictures of the sun coming up on the Patriot.
What was that? What was that emotion like, seeing the sun come up on your
It was
trip
sick.
back from a
It
game?
was sick. I loved it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if you can love those moments, we've already talked about it. That's what really makes it special.
Yep.
That's really all I have. I mean, this is really incredible. I appreciate you letting me make mistakes
Appreciate
and
you,
bring
dude.
up some of your slightly down moments. But I mean, that's what makes you're successful, right? That's what it's going to take. A lot of the guys have already talked about it. With every episode, I end it off by letting the guests just kind of have the floor, talk about whatever you want to. It can be advice. It can be anything. Is there anything that's on your mind? I'm putting you on the spot, so I'll try to stall a little bit here, but episode 10 has been an incredible one, and this is an embarkment of a new journey, which I'm really excited for. It's such a unique opportunity to bring in guys from everybody has a different background, completely different background. They're all here chasing summer baseball. They're brothers for the summer, and the fact that I'm able to bring that here is incredible. Gio Colasante is the first voice crack in a while, is one of the most talented players on the squad. The floor is yours, Gio.
Man, I don't know. You're putting me on the spot for sure.
I've been doing it all day, so.
I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to go with a thank you for having me, dude.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the time and you having me up here. And thank you guys for listening and watching.
It was so much fun. Shout out our producer asking for an MV Sharks lover shout out. It's a fan page that has got a lot of notoriety, and Gio's been front and center on that. But Sharks are coming up on the end of the season, playoffs this weekend, and trying to chase a championship. You came the year after they won the championship.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to try to recreate that. This is incredible. Oh, my God. Gio, thank you so much. Episode 10, 2 voice cracks. It's all right.
Appreciate you, Doc.
And a huge thank you to Martha's Vineyard Community Television for making this episode of Shark Talk possible.